Hi guys, Jamie from Heartfelt Horsemanship here. I wanted to share with you guys today what I'm doing on Danny. Those of you who have done lessons with us know Danny quite well. And also know that Danny sometimes gets into a habit of pulling back when you use your reins. Or better said, Danny was taught to pull back when people didn't use their reins effectively. So I'm taking this opportunity through lockdown to ride some programs. I'm going to work on some impulsion programs, and I'm also going to see if I can help Danny understand the isolation of my rein. The isolation of my rein, the isolation of my leg. So when we use our phases to do anything, it's always eyes, belly button, leg, rein if you need it. Now sometimes people get confused as they're learning to ride, and what has happened with Danny is he's just kind of carried on with this. Every now and then he decides to pull on you. Doesn't make him a bad horse, he's just doing what he thinks he's supposed to. So I'm going to help Danny get through that, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my anti-flights. Now I'm going to use one rein for this, so Danny doesn't have anything else to brace against. You know, he's already got enough demons in his head that, you know, he'll brace against me if he feels the need to. I don't need to have an extra rein to cause leverage to make that brace worse. So when I ride with one rein, I do it on babies, so they never learn to brace to begin with. And on older horses like this to kind of help retrain a behavior. And I also do it to help keep myself tuned up to make sure that I'm always doing eyes, belly button, leg, rein if I need it. So I'm going to do my one rein stop, make sure that I'd have brakes if we got going too fast. Nice. Make sure you check out both sides. I'm going to do my hindquarter disengagement, eyes, belly button, leg, toe out, heel in, rein if I need it. Once I'm doing my anti-flight checks, I'm coming, I'll do it again.
Okay, now I'll do this side.
Since I'm doing my anti-flight checks, I'll follow all the way through. Got my one rein stop. Eyes, belly button, leg, toe out, heel up. Check out my direct rein.
Can you do, just before you do that one, can you quickly do the hindquarter disengagement, just the starting with just hindquarter disengagement, so it's
Eyes,
leg first,
belly button, leg, toe out, heel up.
so no rein, and rein.
Rein if I need it.
Okay,
Alright. So now I'm going to make sure that I have a little bit of a direct rein action, and this is actually what sometimes doesn't work so well for Danny, is our direct rein. So what I mean by that is this is my left rein should cause my left front foot to go off and to the left when I activate it. I don't turn my horses by pulling back, I turn my horses by opening the door and offering them a place to go. If my horse braces on that, chances are I'm not going to have steering at a critical moment. So I'll show you with my right rein. So if I were to turn to the right, eyes, belly button, this leg puts pressure in front of the girth, eyes, belly button, leg, and then I'm going to lift this rein until that foot is activated. Alright, so my direct rein's working, and the only other thing to do is a backup, and everybody goes, but you don't have two reins to do the backup. I'm going to see if my groundwork has paid off, and me doing a little bit of rope wiggling is going to follow through to my riding, and have Danny understand that when the rope wiggles goes backwards. So if I've done my homework, Danny should respond. So not too bad. Try the other side.
can you do the direct rein in that direction so we can see your leg placing?
Sure. So I'm going to go to the left. Got my hand here at neutral. Eyes, belly button, leg. Rein if I need it. Okay.
Cool.
Alright, so I am going to ride off, and I'm going to just make sure that my steering's in good enough order. Now this isn't going to be as refined as if I have 2 reins and I'm working at finesse. Right now I'm working on very basic, fundamental foundation things that sometimes get cracks in them. And then I'm going to work on just doing a follow the rail exercise. Danny likes to kind of duck out when he chooses, or if there's something there that bugs him a lot when we're following the rail. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my 1 rein, eyes, belly button, leg, rein, to take him back to wherever he falls off the pattern, follow the rail, and let him find a chance to stop and rest there a little bit. And then I'll pick up and carry on the rail, and the result should be an outstanding follow the rail by the time I'm done.
Okay, so Danny's had the least of all our horses initial training. We put him under students pretty young. The idea, as misguided as it was to have a horse that people had to work for it with. And as a result, some of the students were releasing on a brace on the direction, and that's how horses learn to nap. So what Jamie's doing now, in English terms, it's not really something that you have a term for in Western or natural, because it shouldn't happen because you never release on a brace. But the term is napping. When a horse goes wherever they want to, you ask them one direction, they go the other way. So that's really what Jamie's working on here. The pulling back that Jamie was talking about is bracing against a direct rein. So Jamie's taken away 1 rein, and she's going to be very...
You can actually see, because Danny's braced so much, his neck is mismuscled.
Yeah.
And under muscles now.
Yeah, because of that bracing, you see Danny's neck is actually muscled in the wrong area. It's too muscled underneath and not enough on top, which we're now working on during lockdown. We get opportunities to work with our own horses. But Jamie's going to be really consistent with the leg and that 1 rein, and not picking up on 2 reins. If a horse is napping, even if you're already working on things like collection or soft feel, I would pull back from that and only work with 1 rein being activated at a time, like Jamie's doing now. Because it makes us consistent. You've got no choice but to use the 1 rein only. I do this for the first rides for young horses as well, because as long as I've been doing this, I still have this tendency to, when I get scared, pick up on 2 reins, and that causes a buck. But Jamie's using this for a different purpose now. Just dropping off the cell phone.
Nothing's happening at a walk, which means I've got everything prepared at a walk. But now, I'm going to test it out in a trot. That's usually where things fall apart for him. And before I get to lope on him, I want to make sure that I don't have any brace in my steering.
It is
Not so graceful with the swing.
It was fairly good. And you'll see from this exercise, Danny will start lifting its shoulder a little earlier. See that it possibly sticks on the rail. Yeah, so it's going off the rail, and you're guiding back to where he veered off. And have him rest there. Now, some of the reasons why you have a horse learn this, it normally starts with them not being given the chance to pick up their feet correctly. So when you ask a horse to steer, you need to be, if you're going for the rein before your leg, you need to lift up as the front foot in the direction you're going lifts off the ground. Very few riders have the timing for that, which is why we always start with our leg, because the leg prepares the horse and they lighten that foot. Now, if you haven't done that, and a student goes straight to the rein and kind of pulls on the horse's, let's say if they're going to the left, pulls on the left front foot, pulls on the horse while the left front foot is down, the horse will fight to go the other way, because all the weight is on the foot. So it comes down to not asking in the correct way, and then it becomes a habit. learn a new behavior very quickly. Between 1 and 5 repetitions they'll learn a new behavior. To unlearn a set behavior takes between 300 to 500 repetitions. So with Danny, us getting this right is not just once or twice going around with us riding him. It's a whole bunch of repetitions. So probably 20 rides with Jamie will get the 300 to 500 repetitions. Where Jamie's turning him is also a very important aspect here. She's turning him close into the fence, so he has to rock back onto his hindquarters. You want a horse to carry the turn on the hindquarters, not on the forequarters. Besides causing brace and struggling with direction, it's not a healthy place to carry a rider. Danny thought about the jump with Jamie there. Watch when Jamie does pick up that rein. It's towards the rail and he has to rock back and lift his forequarters around. So there's a blowout on Danny's part there. He's relaxing a little. He really wants to take Jamie over that jump. Try and get a bit of a different perspective here for you guys. It's a nice looking butt anyway. Danny's. So if he veers off, there he veers off. Jamie's going to turn him back towards the rail. All the way around. So it's kind of a game of and then some, isn't it?
It is.
So he veered one way and Jamie said, well, we're going to go the other way and then some, a full 180. If you
starting to hunt the rail a little bit more.
He's starting to really go for that rail. He knows that's where comfort's found. No, nothing is asked of him if he stays on the rail. Now, the thinking behind that and then some is kind of like, if we talk about those hundreds of repetitions, if we think of a horse that pulls in a certain direction or pulls in the opposite direction to whatever we're asking, as a piece of bent wire. Now, if you want to straighten a piece of bent wire, you can't just take it back to center. You've got to kind of bend it the other way a little. So that's the reason Jamie's going 180 degrees the opposite direction to what he is pulling in. So every time, and you guys might be looking and thinking, well, he's not really pulling that much. He's just drifting. What we want to do is do less earlier rather than too much too late. We don't want it to get to the point of fighting. So if we do far less and we see the problem coming, we can get a result by using less force. Now you'll notice this is by no means pretty type riding. There's rope floundering about and throwing about. That's okay. We're working on an isolated thing here, and that isolated thing is direction.
This is about him learning self-carry.
Yeah, and Danny's got to carry himself. Jamie can't pick up contact here, and picking up contact with a horse that's got this behavior right now would be inappropriate, because it gives them something more to brace against if you're pulling on both sides of their nose or mouth. Okay, so he's following the rail and we are happy with that for today's workout.
we'll see you guys tomorrow, and Danny will go through some more complicated patterns without so much fence.
Cheers.